Welcome back to the Kenny B YouTube channel and the full aluminium toy hauler build. If you're new to the channel, this series is pretty much me learning to TIG weld by spending maybe 20 to 30 grand on trailer parts and having no choice but to learn how to weld. I wouldn't recommend it. If you haven't seen the start, I'll put a link up here back to the intro about what I'm doing. You can check that out and get up to speed. Today we're going to be doing all the deck. So I finished the deck frame in a previous video. Last video we did the wheels and axles underneath. So today I want to be getting all this squared up, tacking the deck frame onto the chassis. It's got a tiny bit of bow in it from just the amount of welds in it and the heat. I tried to keep it straight but just can't get it perfect, so I want to just make sure I strategically tack it down to try and get as much of that out as I can. I need to go through and just flap your wheel off the welds underneath the sections that touch on the chassis, so that's what I'll be doing first. Get it tacked down, get the floor sheets in, get them cut to size because they're going to be a little bit too wide, so trim them down with a circular saw and then start getting those welded on, and then she should pretty much be, all I need to do is wire it up and I could pretty much get it registered. So we're getting pretty close. I'm still going to do all the canopy and the rooftop tan and all the other fit out, but just to register it as a trailer, it'd be getting pretty close. If you want to keep up to date between videos, I'm trying to be pretty active on Instagram, Facebook, and also on TikTok. So Instagram and Facebook I post little bits about the build and other bits and pieces. On TikTok I post some stuff about the build, and I also do honest beer reviews of random beers. So that's the wall I've been doing of the ones I've done so far. I've got a stack in the fridge and I've got a huge list of ones that people have recommended. So if you like beers as well, check that out. It'll be Kenny__B. I had to use 2 underscores because it was already taken, so you get that. But anyway, it's Saturday morning. It's about 7:30, so hopefully I don't piss off the neighbours, but yeah, time to get grinding.
That same evening.
Huge day today, TIG welding the deck onto the chassis. So need to do a 25mm weld every 300mm. So I've been staggering the welds along this side and then also doing a weld on the other side over here. So probably a bit excessive, but best to be a little bit overkill. I've only got about 7 welds to go. The problem is to weld 6mm alloy, I've got the welder up at about 180 amps, which means the duty cycle is only about 20%, so you can weld for 2 minutes and have to stop for 8 minutes. So yeah, it takes quite a fair while. It's only, what's that, 6 welds an hour if you stay right on it. So yeah, about 7 welds to go. Then I also want to figure out what I'm going to do for water tanks, so I may need to put some sort of flat bar in there to mount water tanks to. So I'm going to go check out some shops tomorrow to see what I can find with those. But other than that, I only got a few welds to do, and then I can get the floor sheets over there. Get the floor sheets over the top of this, lay down some Sikaflex on the beams, sit the sheets on top, stitch weld around the outside, and then I'm probably going to do blind stainless rivets down these beams in the middle, just to make it a bit easier instead of having to weld underneath. So shitloads to do, so I'll continue on with that. If I run into delays, I'll start revising the drawbar, because I think I'm going to dogleg the drawbar just to make the hitch height a bit better onto the back of the car. So yeah, stick around for that. Time to put the first floor sheet on. Got some Sikaflex alternative. Put that on all the beams. I've cleaned all these down with acetone and cleaned down the bits on the back of the sheet where that goes. Sit it on, get it lined up, get some tack welds on it, and then down the middle rails I'm going to put some blind rivets in. So let's give it a go. Wish I had more clamps, but it's looking pretty good. It's starting to look like a real trailer. I'll let all this go off, and then I'm gonna stitch TIG weld the outside, and the middle will be held by the rivets and Sikaflex. To weld through this Sikaflex, I think I'm just gonna hit the outside with the wire wheel and then weld it. If it smokes really bad or something, then I'll change the other sheets. I'll just Sikaflex the middle rails and leave the outside for welding. So didn't think about that until I did it, but that's how these things go. So see what happens when I weld it and go from there.
Tomorrow.
With all the floor sheets, I've got 2 sheets that are smooth finish and 2 at the back that are checker plate. So the idea is the front 2 is where the canopy is, so didn't really want the rough surface underneath there. It will mean that there's about 500 or 600 mil at the front, which is smooth sheet that is going to stick out, but that's okay. The back section where all the business happens, that's going to have checker plate, so it's all good. To try to get it as neat as possible, I'm using the shop edge on this side here where it's nice and square, which means that this edge over here that I cut with the circular saw, it's not perfectly straight. It's a little bit rough using the circular saw. So I'm just going to run this plunge router with a straight bit there with the roller bearing and just cruise that along this side, which will just neaten it up perfectly on that edge. So easiest way to do it. To hold the floor sheet down, I've done this front one now. Stuck down with Sikaflex. I'm going to stitch weld around the outside once I've trimmed it with the router, and stainless steel blind rivets. Using these ones, they're the biggest ones I had at Bunnings, 4.8mm diameter, 9.6mm grip length, 316 stainless steel, so all good. To pull a rivet of that size, I just got this Kin Chrome long arm rivet gun. It's not too bad, pretty easy to do. Catches all the tails in that little container, 99 bucks from Bunnings. I tried using an air riveter from work thinking that was going to be easy, but my little compressor, yeah, she won't push it, so went down and got the other one. So every 300mm here, rivets, which it's where the cross brace meets underneath in the center of that, and then stitch weld around the end like I said, and then in the middle here where I put the sheets together, I'll probably stitch along there as well. Maybe stitch and Sikaflex. I don't think I'll fully weld it, it'll just pull it too much. So yeah, just got this sheet's fixed down, still have to weld it. The other sheets are just sitting there loose because I still need to go and do all the plumbing underneath the floor. Next up, I'm going to weld in the angle brackets for the water tanks to go under the floor. So the tanks, I've got 2 of these 65 litre tanks from Rotec Marine, about $220 something each. Supply bung in the bottom, filler, breather. So I need to plumb all that up once I get it underneath the floor. Just going to cut some lengths of this 3mm aluminium angle, weld that in the middle of the chassis, and kind of mount them up in the center. So pretty much mount one either side of the center point of the chassis, so halfway back to balance the weight. Get it up in the guts there. So yeah, let's get that done. I just finished rib nutting the mounts in for the first water tank, and I've already changed my mind. Rib nuts are in there pretty well. You can see they're spread out, so they're grabbing. But I just think with 65 litres in here, that'll be 65 kilos, bumping up and down on corrugation. I just don't think it's going to hold in the long term. So plan B, I'm going to use some flat bar, drill some holes through here. Drill a hole through there so these go through, and then weld them on this side so they're captured, because I won't be able to get up to the top there very easy, especially like on this side I can from underneath, but on that side there I won't be able to. Weld these in at the set spacings to sit through the angle iron, and then yeah, have these little strip sections that drop in here, and then I just push the tank up and put the nuts on and washer from underneath. So yeah, I'll knock up a few of these and see how it looks. First water tank is in. I feel much more happy with this revised design with the plates holding these studs. I've just got normal nuts on there at the moment. I do want to add a nylock nut and trim these bolts down a little bit so they're a little bit neater. But it looks pretty good. I think that's going to be a lot more secure. So the only thing now that's going to delay the floor is I am thinking about where these breather lines and fill line will go. Obviously don't want to really run it down lower than the fill, because I guess filling it'll droop down. I think I want it to come up, so I'm thinking about whether I put a hole saw through here, weld in a section of aluminium tube so it's braced, and then run it out to a fill point. So either come out through here, don't really want to hang it down there, so I'm kind of thinking about maybe I run the fill lines, parallel them together, run the fill line out, and then maybe have a filler flap in the deck, because this bit will be just out the back from the canopy. I've just got to watch where I put things, because underneath here I do want to probably do some sort of guard and then an angled toolbox. So some sort of angled toolbox storage like this one. I'll put a photo here. Found this one online. I think it's from Chameleon Trailers. They do some really nice stuff. But yeah, angled toolbox at the front and back of each tyre to put, bits and pieces, tie downs, all that sort of stuff in there. I think the deck's all cut to size. Just not going to stick these back sections on yet until I figure out the plumbing. Get that done while the floor's off. It'll just be much, much easier. Need to figure out as well where I'm going to feed the ramps in. So I want to have some sort of box storage under here that the ramp can slide into, which I was going to put under here, but if I want to do an under tray toolbox, that's probably going to impede that, so I need to think about that first. I am tossing up whether I put a rack over the top of the rear deck and have storage up there for loose gear like a gazebo or swags or whatever, maybe a tinny in the future, but probably not. So I don't know, because I could put the ramps up there sideways or something, I don't know. Might have to look for some ideas online, but yeah, not sure. So that's pretty much it for this episode. I think the next episode's going to be the other big job of dog legging the drawbar. So I went and got another length of the big stuff, the 152 by 76 mil. So, and that is to cut this drawbar off, probably back in front of this cross brace, 45 it down there and plate it in, and then undersling that other section. So 45 it at the back with probably 300 mil, 200 or 300 mil overlap, probably 300 for overkill. And yeah, undersling it just to get the hitch height down another 150 mil, because at the moment it smacks into the back of the door on the Prado and it's about 150 mil too high. So I think it's just gonna be much better off. I can't open the back door on the Prado at all the way that it is. It just smacks straight into the handbrake lever. So yeah, I can already hear it in the comments about another weak point and potentially the drawbar breaking, but I'm gonna undersling that, fully weld the join, and then use 3 mil the excess of the floor plate, fish plate both sides, weld that. So I think it'll be alright. I really have no other choice. You can't really lower the trailer, so it needs the wheel clearance for the tyres. I can undersling the axle, go back to the axle being on top of the leaves instead of under the leaves, but that's only going to give me 80 mil. And then this way, if I put the dog leg far enough back, I'm going to try and space it back at the length of the rear door of the Prado, so the Prado door should just be able to swing open straight on top of this. And another issue as well is this Arc XO 750 jockey wheel won't extend far enough for that height, so it's also going to help out with that perfectly. Otherwise I've got to go to some big off-road jack leg looking thing like on a truck, so just seems to be the right decision all around. So yeah, if you've got any thoughts on it, let me know. So that's it for another episode. If you like this sort of content, if you could please subscribe, it really helps me out. I'm about halfway now to becoming a legit YouTuber, so slowly getting there, quicker and quicker. If you've got any mates that are into this stuff, share it around, be appreciated. So yeah, hopefully things go smoothly and I have another episode out in a week. Nothing blows up. So yeah, see you in the next one.